Hey, Brand, we're having to reboot down here, so hopefully it'll be on pretty soon.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks, Gary. Good morning.
Somebody invited me earlier. And I was here. And I'm like, upstairs.
Well, I guess we can get started. Brand, can you hear us okay? All right, well, we're not hearing you. Oh, you're muted. Okay. Can you
How
give
about
us a,
now?
say again?
How about now?
No, we're not hearing you.
Hmm.
Geez, go away for a couple of weeks and everything's different. All right, let's see what we got here.
Yeah. And reached out to them and asked them. Is there any water?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Incorrect.
Oh, now we got the camera. All right.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Eileen's not here, but I got her quote. Okay, she's sick.
To be honest with you. I got to ask you.
Okay, gotcha. All right, Sergeant, shall we do the,
That me today?
I guess so.
All right, well, please join me in the pledge to our country here.
All right.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Excellent. And now we're going to recite the four-way test of Rotary. Remember to emphasize the bold text there, the four-way test of the things we think, say, or do. First,
Is it the room?
second,
Is it?
third,
Will it be good for and friendships?
fourth,
Will it be beneficial? Third.
fifth.
Fun.
Thank you, Vanna White.
Thank you. Thank you. Sorry about the delay. We had a few technical things to get straightened around, but we're, I'd say 90% of the way there. Rand can hear us, but we can't hear him, so. Anybody know sign language? All right, Gary,
We're back to doing that. Yeah,
I understand that you might have an inspirational comment.
I do. Eileen is at home ill today and sent me her quote. Quality of life actually begins at home. It's in your street, around your community. Some guy named Charles Kennedy of the internetpillar.com.
Cool. All right, we've got some visitors. James?
Yes, thank you. This is Patrick Kissinger. I've known Patrick for a number of years. He currently just started a new position out at the Scout Camp, which is out by Lake Rosinger, as the outdoor education director program, something guy right there. And he's going to be reaching out to school districts here in Summers County to see if they can partner on some outdoor education programs. We'll talk to that lady over there. And Morgan Crosby, who's on her way. You know her from our Summers County Rotaract Club, so she'll be here shortly.
All right.
Welcome. Yes.
Scout headquarters, where, say it again?
So the Scout Camp, that's out by Lake Rosinger.
Does it operate 24, I mean, all year long?
Yes, there's a variety of programs going on. Summer camp, of course, you might be familiar with for scouts. But then off season, which is basically mid-August through beginning of June or so. There's all sorts of programs going on out there.
We got a big group from Garfield High School in Seattle out there right now.
And speaking of Martin Grundy, yay!
Well, welcome, everybody.
No, Psalm County. I mean, anywhere really. Yeah, so.
Welcome.
Use the games.
Okay.
And our
Um,
speaker Nathaniel.
Okay, go ahead if you'd like to do the introduction.
Oh, I mean, yeah, but this is Nathaniel. He's from Black Forest Mushrooms and he'll be our speaker today.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
I'll do that
looking forward to
when
it.
it comes.
Yeah, mushrooms, all right.
All right.
Supposed to be, a great beef or meat substitute.
Yeah, I would say more of a supplementation is
Uh-huh.
definitely the way to go.
Yeah, you need something else, a protein probably.
Yeah, but yeah, definitely a great replacement, but I'm happy to get into that.
Yeah. Yeah, we're looking forward to it. So we've got a birthday this week. Joyce.
Big birthday.
29 again?
Yeah,
96.
96 years old, born in 1928.
She's catching up to you.
Catching up to Lauren.
We're not even going to give you the option to pay otherwise. I think we definitely have to do the happy birthday
Yeah,
song.
we do.
So.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Joyce. Happy birthday to you.
And then we have just one other Rotary anniversary, Chris.
Chris who?
Yeah, I know, we got a lot of Chris's here. I think we got, what we got, 3 or 4. The one that's here.
Yeah, good.
Yeah,
Thank you.
great.
That's all.
I can't believe it. Wow.
Okay, folks, we got a few announcements. First of all, I had a good monthly meeting with the other area J clubs a few days ago. And Bev Harrington, who's a name that many of you will recognize, but she's one of the pillars of our Rotary District, has invited us to participate in an event coming up in March. And this is to support the Yes Foundation, which is, as we've heard previously, but it's the Youth Engaged in Service program, and it's actually somewhat of a local program.
So I'm actually their community service coordinator.
Oh.
I'm selling raffle tickets for said event. So if you want to learn more about it afterwards, I won't take your time right now, but
I don't know.
you can talk to me.
Oh.
You guys, he's gonna come and talk to you guys. It's fantastic. If he hasn't already. So if you want to learn more about it and want to continue to support it next year, you can do that.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about the program or what's the upcoming Luck O' the Irish?
Yeah, so that's what these are for. So these are raffle tickets. They're $10 each. Each of our students is selling them. This is to cover our project fees because it's expensive to go to Guatemala. I am just recently post-grad, so I will still say I'm also a poor child. The amazing thing about it is that the kids and myself, because I'm selling raffle tickets, are putting together baskets and have different cool items for you to win. And then because you are one of the sponsoring clubs, we'd love to have your presence at the event itself. It's super fun. The kids run the whole thing, which for them is being high school juniors. It's a very new experience. It's a little stressful. They made a whole website for it so you can see all of their different items that they've collected. Have to encourage them to actually upload the pictures of the items on the website, but we'll get there. So that you can see what are some of the things that you'll be able to put your raffle tickets in, or we'll have them drawn. And those are items that you'll be able to win. So they're $10 each. I am selling mine today. And I have pens to fill them out. And is there anything? Oh, they have to do, I mentioned that I was their community service coordinator. They have to get 80 hours of community service. 40 of that at one particular primary site, and then 40 at miscellaneous other places. So they need spots to volunteer. So as you guys, I think you're having a cleanup tomorrow, is that correct? The perfect time to send out an invite to them and say, hey, we'd love to, so you can send that my way. And we'd love to have them come out and do that with you, because then they're growing their local connections and everything, right? So
Excellent idea. Yeah.
it's to really have them understand, Rotary isn't just international service that's far away and you can't see it by the time you go home. It's all about the local stuff too. And so it really gives them this well-rounded image of what Rotary is, right? So they get to do that, and then they get to go with the Hands for Peacemaking Foundation in June, and they're gonna install stoves in homes. So if you'd like to support the program, you're welcome to do that through me today. And then you guys are already doing it. You're supporting, I believe it's Emmett is the student that you guys are supporting. So you're already in a big way changing his life. So thank
Yeah.
you so much for being a part of that. And we hope to see you on March 16th. It's up in the Stille Valley Center in Arlington-ish area up north. So we hope to have you there with us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Have you guys got connected with the Bunker Art Collective?
Not that I know of.
They're a relatively new nonprofit that does all sorts of cleanup and like graffiti and trash around the city. And I know they have a ton of opportunities for volunteering,
Yeah.
and you could get all of that in 4 hours in one area. They're a really up and coming to the downtown Everett area.
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of our students are in Everett. They're the ones who are struggling to get their hours. So I'd love to connect with you after.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, thank you for letting me.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, perfect timing, because the event that we've been asked to participate in is the event at the Stille Center. And it's a $50 per person event. It's been suggested it might be a great club social. And I think it might be, it's relatively close. Basically, it's a game night, and there's information about the game. But it's kind of a mixer type game. It's not complicated at all, but it sounds pretty fun. I'll let you read if you're interested more about it, but I do have tickets that I can sell for Bev. And my suggestion is you're welcome to buy tickets today or next week or whatever, but if anybody would be interested, if this became kind of a club social, would be interested in that, just let me know and I'll kind of keep tabs on it. And we'll see how many people we get, and then kind of, bring this together. But yeah, it is the 16th. It's the evening of the 16th. And it's pretty low key. It's basically an after dinner event. So it's dessert, it's drinks, wine and beer. It's a hosted bar. So that could be fun, and make it what you want, but it could be pretty fun. And just one more thing about what the money goes for is basically the youth that participate, and these are all 11th graders, by the way, involves going to Guatemala and literally assembling small wood stoves for people's homes. And we've heard about this too, which is really a good idea, because currently they basically have open fire inside their house. And the wood smoke is like terrible for the people in the house. The other thing that the 11th graders do is they assemble small point of use water purification systems for villages. Again, a very good idea. So I kind of look at this kind of stuff as just big bang for the buck from a standpoint of the bang by these, versus the costs to help them get it. So now let me know if you're interested, and we'll kind of keep track of this as time goes on. And again, on the 11th or the 16th Street cleanup, can you touch base with her, possibly getting word out to students, or the YES program?
Sure. I'll get your info after.
Yeah, and get that, because currently I think we've got 4 people signed up, so it'd be great to get some extra help. But again, it is a Saturday, folks, so join us if you can, 8 o'clock Saturday morning, rain or shine, maybe be more rain than shine, I don't know, but it'll be fun. All right. One last thing, I'm gonna let let Jack off the hook here, and just a reminder not to forget about dues. It sounds like they're coming in, but again, it's very important for us to get the money in, because we're constantly having opportunities to give it away. And
which I can pay.
and we have to pay our own dues to Rotary International.
Do we need to send Guido and Franco out or?
I don't think we're there yet.
Okay.
Yeah, but let's keep them on call. Just in case. So Jack, do you have anything else for reports?
Nothing else right offhand, I'll see if I can think of something by the time we have our next board meeting.
Okay.
I'll make something up.
All right, well, we're dying to hear about treasurer report. All right, Gary, what you got as secretary?
The normal stuff, board meeting on February 6th. Yale conference on March 1st and 3rd. I don't know if Kristen has got anybody signed up, but I think she probably does. The grant seminar, Ron, Chris and I are going to that. Today and April 19th, we have to clear this room because it's going to be in use starting between 8:45 and 9. They want to be setting up. So today and on April 19th. And if you want to have a Lake Stevens Comedy Night Out, the chamber is sponsoring this. It's $45 for a couple of drinks and appetizers, a lot of laughs. And if you really want to laugh, one of the pourers is going to be Anthony. So if you're good to him, who knows what he might pour you?
Never know.
You never know. So it's sponsored by the chamber. It's a fundraiser for them, and it's at the Lake Stevens Community Food Bank at 6 o'clock, I believe.
You could say if you're bedroom, you don't know what you're going to be.
That's true.
Okay.
And
Also true.
you could, I will go there. One other thing, I'm gonna send around a note that was sent to us by Sophina. It's a personal note thanking Rotary for what we did to the food bank, and as she puts it, as she says in a new note, what we have done for her. And she even kind of claimed off, maybe I'll be a Rotarian someday, so I'll send that around.
That'd be a good thing. Thank you,
That's
Gary.
it.
Ron, you got an event
I
coming
was
up
just
pretty soon.
gonna talk about the grant seminar, but Gary already mentioned it, so, three of us are going to that, it's March 2nd in lovely Ferndale, Washington. And then I was gonna just let everybody know that since one of our major one of our fundraisers is Aquafest. And there's a lot of concern and discussion about what's going on. There's a meeting February 22nd for the community, and there's just an open discussion about what's gonna happen with Aquafest. Pretty sure that it's not happening downtown.
The chance it's not happening down
It's
there?
not gonna happen downtown.
Right, and Chris Jacobson made a public post today.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
And so did the community, who's ever organizing the event, put it publicly too, so.
Yeah.
So, and it's just bring ideas, you know.
When, I'm sorry, Ron, when?
February 22nd, I have a work meeting, so I will not be able to attend, so hopefully we'll have enough members that our ideas are heard, so. The
Sewer
sewer
district.
district building. February 22nd, so.
I'll try to be there. Yeah.
Rand, hopefully you can be there.
I'll like next horse, I'll mention them several times.
Well, that's, will be a little bit of a shock if it's not, now that we've got all these nice improvements downtown, Mill Street and all that kind of stuff, it's not down there.
So construction will be happening downtown all throughout next summer. So then what Chris Jacobson was relaying from the board is that, will we have Aquafest in 2024? Yes or no? Will we bump it to 2025 and revamp it then? Like, how is it just gonna be restructured? And then really trying to get their volunteer board up, because it's 100% ran by volunteers.
Yeah,
So it's a good opportunity to kind of shake it all out and come back together, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, we just have to at this point, be optimistic and push forward, and if whatever we want our community to look like, now is our chance to be a part of it, make it happen.
Good point.
When and where? Rand, it's February 22nd
Sewer
at
district.
the sewer district building on, Vernon Road. Right behind, Hawkeyes.
6:30. 6:30. He does know sign language.
Yeah.
And then I just yell when people can't, hear. Hey, Anthony.
They can hear us, but we can't hear them, so it's gonna be, it's interesting. All right, Brian, do we have anything else to talk about on community services?
We're gonna schedule, I think it's gonna be the 17th, the third Saturday in February to clean up Market. And then also a little cleanup at Lundin Park, just kind of go through it, do some weeding and stuff like that for the city. So we'll have 2 projects going on.
Great.
So we're not doing tomorrow, right?
Now, we're gonna go ahead and do tomorrow, because Anthony was kind enough to look up. Last night, there were literally 2 of us from the club out of 53 that signed up. But then when I looked at it, now there's 5 of us, and Jack can come too. So now we've got 6.
I can come.
7.
I didn't see an email. I did not get an email.
Oh,
I think
it
I
was,
may have excluded you though.
yeah,
That could be.
I didn't even include any, all 52 of us.
I think that's what I did.
That is probably right.
What time, Brian?
8:30.
At the mill.
We're gonna meet at the mill. Yeah.
8:30 at the bell.
so,
Yeah.
that's a good point. I mean, 16th is a bit of a walk, but the parking area at the mill is where we'll meet then?
Yeah, that's gonna be the best area, because we'll have 2 people go down towards Machias, 2 people go down 16th. And then 2 people or more, however we do it, but downtown, kind of the mill area.
And it's 8:30, it's not 8.
8:30, 8:30, I mean, I'm gonna be there at 8, just to make it there, because otherwise I'll be there at 9:30. So,
All right. And do you have the?
the grabbers, the bags, and the vests.
All right. Good.
Gary's gotta use his hands.
What was the other date?
The 17th, that's the Saturday, 3rd Saturday, I believe it is.
But there'll be emails on that.
Oh, yeah.
March or February?
March.
Just make sure you put me on the email.
March will be the skate. So every month we're gonna start doing something.
And we need to clean up the rotary storage.
Yeah, that, we don't need a bunch of people to help with that, then we'll have too many people in that small building, but yeah, we need 4 people, probably.
Well, and we need Tracy, Lori, and Rochelle, because they got.
We got the width, we got the direction.
We got, but they've got, there's a lot of stuff in there that they know about.
Before we-
We can either
Before
talk.
we clean it, we need to buy a shelf. Before we clean it, because we need to, we don't need to clean it, put everything right back without the right organization. So we really need a shelf. And maybe 4 of those black and yellow.
Costco has all their shops
tubs,
on sale right
Yeah.
now, so.
Didn't it
Because
rain
it's just a
yesterday?
nightmare. So,
He's got the bid.
yeah, anyway, but we'll set that up later for spring. when it's out.
Do it fairly soon so we can get it organized. It's really horrible. Isn't it?
Yeah. All right, that's all I got.
Okay,
Thank
all
you.
right.
I can say that the blood drive was successful and amazing that we hosted last Friday. We got almost 30 pints of blood, and Jack donated and Chris Jacobson donated, a bunch of other people. And then Kyle Strand came in at the end and helped relieve me and cleaned up, so
Good.
it's.
So that worked out great. Yeah, good. Yeah, I missed it, but I've got my backup plan with Bloodworks Northwest to donate, so I guess it's pretty critical right now, isn't it?
It's always critical. Oh,
For you.
gotcha.
Okay, Rand and Kendra, if you have anything critical, just to talk about for your reports, just go ahead and throw them on chat. Otherwise, we'll consider you good as far as what's all going on.
Linda had posted something earlier on the chat.
Let's see, how do we find the chat sidebar here?
They had an IPA
Going on
last
more.
night.
Look at the warrant.
Yeah, I looked on that and it's just, it's,
Next one up, there you go.
there we go. Thank you, folks. All right, Peterson Philpott. Okay. Thank you. Okay, let's move on. Let's do the sergeants at arms. Fun
All
and
right,
games.
thank you, Mr. President. So we have a weekly raffle drawing. I have our guest speaker pick the winning ticket. It's gotta be the red one though. Please read the last three numbers out nice and loud. Nope, that's the wrong one, sorry.
Last three is 336. Early.
That's me.
And part two is he gets to pick, one of the ducks out of here. If it has a W on it, he wins the pot, which is like $8 or. Check.
The pot right now, including today, is 29.
Okay, and you didn't win, sir, so there's your,
You got a
$5 prize.
He said early is, that never works out.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see, we're all feeling happy today. Online folks, are you happy today? They're all
They
hiding.
are.
That's how happy they are, that we can't see them, so. We're happy, yes, excellent, good deal, thank you, thank you. And Mr. President, how happy are you?
I'm sort of happy. As most of you know, I was planning to be on vacation right now, but, you know, things change sometimes. But,
What changed?
actually, we came down, or not we, but Eve came down with COVID like the night before. We were supposed to hop on a plane to go catch a cruise in Fort Lauderdale. And so we canceled out of that. I never did test positive, so I kind of came through okay, but we weren't going to take any chances.
No, that's good.
And then the other part of our trip was to see my mother-in-law who lives in Fort Lauderdale. So we thought, well, we'll see if we can wait a few days, you know, and get beyond this. And
All right,
I'm gonna still do that part of the trip, but that didn't materialize. So I was really hoping to get a little bit of 80-degree tropical heat, you know, for a little while and didn't quite happen, but anyhow,
All right.
we're all better.
well, let's start over here, sir.
Happy to be here. The, happy to hear Nathaniel speak.
Yeah, should be exciting.
Grab my phone. So you'll have to, I will. All right. Just happy it's Friday. And then he's
Excellent,
Drop
excellent.
this phone for me.
Well, I didn't get a chance to have you buy out your birthday song, so happy birthday. young lady.
Thank you. And I am happy that I have made it this far.
Yeah, well, we're happy to have you.
I need to make change. I'm just happy birthday to Joyce and last Friday. So I'll get changed.
Last Friday.
It is Friday.
Oh, it is Friday.
Last Friday.
You're glad it's Friday.
Glad it's
Okay.
I'll also then know happy birthday, Joyce. I'm sorry you don't have a cake this year like last year. Good to see you. Tomorrow night, kicking off the YMCA's annual campaign, we call it community campaign from here on out, raising dollars to remove barriers. So I get to give a little presentation to 200 people, which is very exciting and nerve-wracking. And I'm also gonna kind of pass the torch on the chair position that I've held for the past 3 years. I'm just gonna become co-chair, which is, I'm really excited to be saying no to things and creating boundaries for myself, but still being involved. So, yeah, looking forward to tomorrow and supporting our community through the YMCA.
Very cool. And we'll Venmo happy bucks for Joyce's birthday. Happy birthday. And also my son is finishing up his finals and has done really well this semester. So he's feeling good. He has a really heavy load in school and he did well. Nice.
What grade is he in now?
Junior,
I used to take him on the bus.
you did.
Mr. Vice President.
Okay, happy Friday, happy birthday, Joy. Glad you're here. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Mr. Next President.
Yeah, very happy and happy birthday, Joyce. Look for some sunshine here. Look like
Good deal.
Get it.
Happy birthday, Joyce. We're catching up with you.
Good to see you, Lauren.
Well, I'm super excited that it's Friday and happy birthday, Joyce. I'm not done yet. And I'm very excited to be home. I was actually stuck in Spokane for 3 days when it snowed. I happened to be there for a baby shower and it took me 3 days to get out of the Spokane airport, which was a drag.
They
So
didn't
it
tell you
made me
it
really
was,
feel happy to be home.
they didn't tell you it was a baby snow shower?
And literally the day that I wanted to leave is when it really dumped, and then the day I left is when it started to melt. So it really was just that little funnel of time where I just couldn't get home. So I'm so happy to be here, and I brought my nephew who wants to be a fireman home with me. And he did 3 ride-alongs in Everett, and we tried to get him in like Stevens, but it didn't work out. But he had a blast, and so happy for that too. Yeah.
Couple happy bucks for me. Happy birthday, Joyce. And I'm celebrating other birthday parties tonight for you, so. I'm glad to be back also. I was stuck in another location, Vegas, with
That
flights
sounds a lot more fun.
canceled. Yes, Vegas gets old after a few days.
Yeah.
So. It's all this stuff and whatnot. But I was at the food show, which was a lot of fun, and it's fun to be back. And then, I just have to show what I found in the airport. Super Bowl t-shirt.
I think I left that there.
Right? You know, I thought I probably could have bought like 5 or 6 of them, and sold them off here, because I don't think they have, like, obviously who's playing on it. Because I'm excited, but I have cousins that are Chiefs fans and cousins that are Lions fans. So I'm kind of holding on to this to either give it as a consolation prize or a, you know, unique prize. So anyway, it was just kind of fun to see that and grab that. And nice to be back. And it was very odd to come back and feel like I had warmer weather in Seattle than in Vegas.
Good morning.
Morning. Happy today's Friday. You should be a good being. I'm very good. Thank you.
Secretary.
Happy birthday, Joyce. Having fun trying to restore our upstairs bathroom. It's all cleared out, it's all cleaned out, it's, now we gotta restore it, so. Hopefully that'll be done in the next 2 weeks.
Cool.
No? Nope. He's gonna leave it over there, but it's not gonna go.
All right, well, I have a couple happy bucks for my guests today. Glad they were here. Excited to learn more about what Patrick's gonna do with for kids out in the outdoors, and of course for Joyce and birthday. So, there we go. Mr. Treasurer, do you have anything?
Happy birthday to Joyce, and I'm glad to see Lauren here today.
Yes. There we go. Mr. President.
All right. Well, thank you very much. Happy days indeed. Nathaniel, this is your big opportunity.
Yeah, so this is Nathaniel. He is the founder of a place in Everett called Black Forest Mushrooms. I have been interested in living a healthier lifestyle. So it's been on my radar, and on Facebook, they kind of popped up. And so my husband and I and another couple went to their hosted happy hour. We got to taste some tinctures and taste some jerky and learn about mushrooms. And then after that, we came back with the kids and let them do the ranger tour and learned all about this indoor farm, which you guys are going to learn about. We have purchased mushrooms in their shop. I have purchased a grow kit, and I'm growing mushrooms in my house. And we also signed up for their delivery. And so they put mushrooms on my front porch. And so we've been enjoying mushrooms in our spaghetti sauce and on burrata toast. I'm making a quiche with them this afternoon. There's just endless ways to use these amazing mushrooms. But Nathaniel is just like kind of different and special. He's so passionate about mushrooms and supporting communities and supporting this planet. So I just thought that you guys would be a great audience to hear from this new upcoming business. So I present to you Nathaniel.
Well, she did it all today.
Yeah.
All right, well, thank you for the great introduction. My grandma, she was always in the kitchen growing up, when I was growing up, she was always in the kitchen making stuff. And she said, one of the best ways to make people happy is to feed them, so. But obviously our packaging is really good. So I'll just pass this around, this is, what we call mushroom jerky. And I even got this little napkin, so feel free to go ahead and pass that along, give that a taste. And then mushroom. Another one, mushroom jerky. There's two different types, both are, the same marinade, it's a different texture. So we got lion's mane jerky over here, we got blue oyster over here. Save your napkins, go ahead and swap right over, so. Well, thanks for the opportunity to speak today. I really appreciate it. So yeah, I'm the founder of Black Forest Mushrooms. We cultivate gourmet mushrooms in hyper-localized, controlled environment farms that help fight climate change and also strengthen security in our local food supply chain. Ultimately, this business has come from mainly failure. I've had a lot of failures in my life, but with every failure, it's a lesson learned, right? And so after service in the United States Air Force, years of serial entrepreneurship that had some mild successes and, like I said, some failures, I had to take a step back and take a look at what I really wanted in the business. And so I wanted something in high demand, low supply, something that was going to help generate community and build that camaraderie. And I found that in agriculture. I was really interested in building, I like the vertical farming and the leafy greens and all. I thought that was just really exciting. I had a little bit of experience working in some farms in Colorado, some traditional farming. I also grew up in Enumclaw, and so I was around a lot of farm and all. And I just remember as I was about maybe 14, 15 years old in Colorado and opening up the irrigation channels and just flooding this entire field. And I just remember at the time thinking like, there's got to be a better way. This is a tremendous amount of water that we're just pouring into the ground. And I think that kind of stuck with me over time. And so when I took this step back and I decided, okay, I want to do something that's going to create healthier communities. I'm going to find a crop that's going to work. And I really like this vertical farming. I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll do leafy greens. And I realized, oh, well, leafy greens are kind of a low barrier for entry. There's already a lot of players. And so I just started growing different crops. And at the time I lived in a 2-bedroom apartment in North Seattle. And I set up a 4x2 restaurant rack in the corner of my living room. And yes, my girlfriend is still with me. And so I started growing all sorts of stuff. I had hydroponic tomatoes, I had microgreens, and every time I grow a new crop, I just trying to determine, okay, like, how is this going to help make a healthier community? Is this kind of checking all of those boxes? I kept on having mushrooms pop up. And I was like, oh, mushrooms. I was like, you know what? I don't even like mushrooms. True story. When I started the business, when I was starting to do research for the business, I did not like mushrooms. But that was one of my big selling points for myself to check those boxes is I ordered a grow kit online. I grew the mushrooms and I was like, oh, this is actually kind of fun. I like this process. And so when I harvested them, obviously I wasn't going to just throw them in the trash. So I'll throw them in a pan. So I cooked them up and I ate them. And I think that was my aha moment, right? Is that moment that I ate something that I was convinced I didn't like and it was amazing. And that was the rabbit hole I fell down. I started realizing like, well, why did I think mushrooms are gross and slimy? And that really led to me finding out that 80 to 90% of gourmet mushrooms are actually imported into the United States. And the reason we think they're gross and slimy is because they're spoiled. They are predominantly imported from Asia, which they're usually wrapped in single-use plastics that end up in our landfills because we're not shipping that back to China anymore. And then since they're wrapped in single-use plastics, it speeds up the decomposition rate, which also reduces the nutritional value. And then they go through, it's one of the most fragile crops you can grow, gourmet mushrooms. And they go through barometric and temperature changes when they are overnighted. And then even then they are taken off, put onto a truck, gone through customs, distribution, all that. So by the time they're harvested, wrapped in single-use plastics, shipped over and through customs and in a grocery store, it can be weeks before they're even just sitting on the shelf, not to mention on somebody's dinner plate. Now, the shelf life for these is anywhere between 7 and 10 days. 10 days is it's really properly stored, but ultimately, that's the problem that we're solving. We're able to produce a product, fungi at port, in a matter of hours instead of days and weeks, with a higher nutritional value than anything else on the market that's imported. And so where a lot of companies are shipping their mushrooms long distances, we focus specifically on a hyper-local community. Some people have said that I'm absolutely nuts, and I wouldn't argue with them. However, I think that we're doing something that has already been shown as a proof of concept. We've seen the failure of big box stores and just not working when you have everything centrally located. So our model, instead of growing our farm bigger and larger and shipping farther distances, we set up hyper-local farms directly in the middle of the communities that may have the highest need for it. Whether that be a food desert or a highly affluent area, we can actually pick and choose how we operate those farms. So we've decided that in launching the company, we launched in Everett for a plethora of different reasons, but as we expand our farm, we'll set up another farm in, say, theoretically, we go to Bellevue. We'll set up one hyperlocal farm to support the Bellevue community, right? And because that's a more of a affluent area, we can charge top premium dollar for our product. Now, on the reverse, we can then say, okay, our next farm is going to be, say, Hilltop, Tacoma, an area that has a tremendous amount of vulnerable communities there, a community that's still bouncing back from systemic issues. And we can actually adjust our prices down to match the median income so that across the board, we can actually level this out. So not only are we creating well-paid jobs that are 30% higher than other industries, other professionals within our industry, and that's our starting, it's 30% higher, but we're able to provide those healthy jobs directly in the community that we serve. And so we're very excited about this business model. Nobody else is doing it, and we've done a ton of research. So please, I highly encourage, if anybody can find somebody else that's doing what we're doing, I'd love to meet them. But ultimately, the biggest thing, I see, I'll do it in a second. The biggest thing that we're excited about is our model and ultimately our mission. We cultivate gourmet mushrooms and healthy communities. So I would really encourage everyone to give us a follow, blackforestmushrooms.com, follow us on your favorite socials. We have a big initiative coming up, and that's one of the biggest things that I'd like to pitch for you guys today. But before I move on to that, I'd like to answer your question.
Well, I think that there's similar is happening in the microgreens world.
Mhm.
There's a lot of individuals that are doing that quite successfully. Do you see that as similar to what you're offering, or?
In a way, I think microgreens are interesting because it can scale very, very in a very easy way. And I say easy in the sense that if you have a windowsill or a little bit of sun, anybody with some seeds can do that, right? And so I think that market could be potentially saturated, and for something that isn't, although healthy, isn't something that's substantial and filling, right? Is we can grow a ton of microgreens, but the microgreens is more like an additive to, and not a supplementation like I previously mentioned at the beginning. And so I think there's not a silver bullet for any of this. Mushrooms is not the silver bullet, although I think other farms would tell you otherwise. I think that we need to look at it just in the same way as our controlled environment farming. We don't look at our controlled environment as being a replacement of traditional agriculture. It has to be a supplementation to our overall food
But when
stability.
people are telling you that you're crazy, you can't do it as a successful business, and I feel the microgreens world is going to be, similar and do it successfully. So I think it could be very successful.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Wonderful. Any other questions?
Just curious about how you grow them. I mean, is it in a big dark
Yeah.
room?
Stop by and see.
Yeah, so we do tours every Sunday morning at 11. It's myself or our director of operations. We'd be happy to walk you through the entire process. But to answer your question in short, essentially it's all indoors. We have controlled environment rooms. We control the airflow for CO2. We control humidity, temperature. And we're able to, our facility is about 10,000 square feet, and we are scaling up to 20,000 pounds per month. Mhm.
So you said Sunday at 11 o'clock, this is tours for anybody, it's open?
It's tours are on Sunday at 11. It is $30. However, if anybody in here wants to come for a tour, I'd be happy to put you on the guest list. Yeah. And then that also includes, you walk away with either a pound of mushrooms or a grow kit. So there's a little bit of value beyond just the tour itself. Considering the grow kit is already, if you go buy a grow kit, it's $30 anyway. So you pretty much get a complimentary grow kit.
Do we need to pre-sign up or can we just show up at 11?
You can do both. We always recommend signing up ahead of time as we have so many slots. So far, we usually only get to about 90% sold out every week, so. I'm sorry?
What's the address?
Yeah, 2110 Hewitt. And Everett, Washington.
Across from the arena.
What about, chanterelles and morels? I know those, I'm not really.
Yes.
Cultivated yet, are they?
So I love that you brought that up. Thank you. So we cultivate what we call hyper-local mushrooms, and those are any of the mushrooms that we grow in our humble farm, right? However, we're all about collaboration and cultivating healthy communities, right? And so we have a ton of collaborations, whether it be value-added products such as a mushroom coffee, from Wonderground Coffee based out of Capitol Hill, great company. Or, bless you, we actually partnered with Eugene Mushroom Company. They're a wild foraging company that is a series of different families. And they actually travel around the Pacific Northwest, depending on what mushrooms are fruiting in what regions. And so we've set up a logistics system that gets us wild mushrooms that we can't cultivate in our controlled environment within 24 hours from harvest, which is wicked fast for wild mushrooms that are being handpicked.
Yeah, because one of the reasons I was bringing it up, is, you know, I've been looking for like mushrooms for decades now.
Yeah.
And the harshness on the environment, people going out there and harvesting them all, you know, there's just more and more people. Yeah. I think if there was a way to cultivate it, the way you're cultivating, that'd be a much better way to handle that.
Potentially, I think there's a much deeper conversation. I could probably have a TED talk just on that,
Yeah.
but ultimately, I think it's the practice and how we're harvesting the wild mushrooms.
So there's that.
And so I think that it comes back down to education, which is a lot of what we focus on, right? That's why we do tours every single week. That's why we do a mushroom happy hour, and that mushroom happy hour includes a cooking demo, right? And so getting people associated and actually access to those mushrooms. You say you're looking for chanterelles. I have chanterelles 7 days a week right now, sitting in our mushroom market. We're open 7 days a week. And so people walk in and they're like, chanterelles. We even have morels. Did you even know morels are in season right now?
They should be.
Yeah, exactly. And so we just got our first batch of morels in and we sold out all but 1 pound of them on resale. And so to be able to get this level of access, not only to our mushrooms that we do hyper locally, but also to wild mushrooms is just absolutely unheard of. And even with other local mushroom farms that are doing great work, they don't have that mushroom market. They're located outside of the city center. We set up smack dab in the middle of the city in walking distance of thousands of apartments and even more homes and in a highly populated area.
Long to take to grow,
But-
start something.
Yeah, so 2 to 4 weeks from the status that we have our mushrooms in, that's actually a harder question to answer than you would think. Technically, like the whole process probably takes several months, but we have it set up where we have a waterfall process and we actually, there's like kind of a process in which we have to grow out like the actual mycelium or the root structure. And we do that ahead of time and then we can almost jumpstart the rest of the process. And so from that process that we consistently hold within our farm, we can grow mushrooms within about 2 to 4 weeks. And I think that that's really important too for cultivating healthy communities is if there's a natural disaster, if there's any sort of issues, we actually have a company in Aurora, Colorado we're working on who's manufacturing what we do into containers. And so one of the things we're looking to do as we grow is to have some of these units on standby. So let's say there's a natural disaster and they need to get good quality ingredients foods. Well, we can work with, say, the National Guard and say, hey, look, we need to airlift 4 containers into this area and we can have food already packed in there, like fresh mushrooms, already packed for immediate deploying. And then also in a matter of 2 weeks, we can consistently grow our product as well. And all we really need is like wood and soy, which again can be airdropped in as well. And I've experienced with that with the US Air Force. There's a lot of opportunities, and I think that's one of the things I'm most excited about. So one of the things I wanted to touch base on is we have a huge initiative coming in February. So it is our first annual Mush Love Initiative. And what we're doing is for the entire month of February, for every pound of mushrooms we sell, we are doing pound for pound match to our local food banks. And so currently we're supporting Lake Stevens Community Food Bank, Snohomish Community Food Bank, and the Snohomish Healing Project. And we're in discussions with 3 other nonprofits that we may be supporting as well. Our ambitious goal is to sell 6,000 pounds of mushrooms in February. Now, for this first year, we're also including wholesale as well. We're a brand new business, and we really want to stand behind our mission of cultivating gourmet mushrooms and healthy communities. And so what better way to kick in the door of the new year than to launch this initiative and this annual initiative to really not only just be a brand new business, but a brand new business with a purpose, and it truly stands behind their mission. So that's what we're doing. And considering that, I also have more gifts for you guys. So we have these Valentines. They are Mush Love Valentines. We have 3 different ones. So I'm going to give you each 2. One for you and one for your mushy love. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Make sure you guys are careful. So you'll notice that these are so these are actual functional Valentines. So keep one for yourself and then just give one to somebody else. And what's nice about this is this will it also has information about our Mush Love initiative and gives you access to our landing page that tells you even more about what we're doing.
Will you remind us how do we get the mushrooms? How do we purchase mushrooms?
Yeah, so we have our mushroom market at Hewitt and Broadway. And then we also have our Fungi to Fork delivery service. We deliver everywhere from Marysville to North Seattle. And then also, go talk to your favorite chef, go talk to your favorite restaurant, let them know that you want Black Forest mushrooms, you want hyper-local mushrooms. And that's where we're really gonna move most of the mushrooms. We have our storefront, we only do about 20-25% of our mushrooms through our mushroom market. But the other 75% goes out direct to restaurants, and we're taking Fungi to Fork, in a matter of hours there.
Have you already connected with the Luca Italian restaurant in Everett that does farm to table?
Yes, I just spoke with the chef there last week. And what a character. I immediately hit it off with him. And so we had a great chat, and then we were just talking about how to use the mushrooms. And that's a big thing right now, is that our onboarding process is a little slow because even some of the most experienced chefs are a little bit, they don't get access to mushrooms this fresh, right?
And you do go down to Seattle?
Correct. So for our Fungi to Fork home delivery, we go to North Seattle on the north side of the waterway. However, our wholesale does go into Capitol Hill and South Lake Union.
I'll give you another restaurant name after.
Please, yeah, warm introductions are the best right now to cut through the chatter. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. So yeah, that's it. I have some mushrooms up here. I highly encourage you to come up, take a look. As a quick, to answer your question earlier, we've got 3 different mushrooms here today. We've got chestnut mushrooms, which are great for soups, stews, a good saute. Lion's mane, which has a very crab-like or pulled chicken consistency. Excuse me. And then blue oyster, which is great to be able to slice up and make mushroom tacos or anything. I also like to put a little bit of shrimp on it too. So yeah. Questions, comments, concerns?
Did you have a question about mushroom coffee?
No, I just was interested, I get all these posts on Facebook about why is mushroom coffee, so I'm like.
Yeah.
All the raves that they say,
It depends on your goals, right? So if you're trying to cut out coffee, then Rise or Mud Water might be an okay product for you. If you are not trying to cut out coffee.
no.
Yeah, okay, good. We're on the same page.
Yeah, it's like cutting oxygen.
So I'm gonna explain one thing and I'm gonna come back to the coffee here. So with mushrooms, there's a lot of really great studies out there, right? And a lot of promising studies. The number one thing that we're seeing is consistency. And so eating gourmet mushrooms once a month, once a week is great, right? However, to really get those long-term benefits, consistently have that in your diet, right? And so this is what's wonderful about mushrooms is you can use them in so many different ways. You can have them in a tincture where, you know, it's just a little liquid concentrate of the nutritional value. You can drop it into any beverage you want. So that's what we do for like our mushroom happy hour with our mushroom mocktails, right? You can cook them into a dish. You can take them and make them into a quiche, right? You can also take that concentrate and infuse it into coffee. And that's what Wonderground Coffee does out of Capitol Hill, right? And so it's not what you're seeing with the Rise and the Mud Water. That is a coffee replacement. Whereas the coffee that we offer from Wonderground is actual coffee, and it's actually really good coffee. I usually don't drink coffee black. I drink that black because it's
Dang, that was so, sorry, that was
No,
so
please.
surprising when you gave me like instant ground black coffee. I was like, I'm not gonna drink it, I'll just hold it in my hand. It was so good. I made Brian drink it. It was, anyways, I was really surprised.
Yeah, and they're doing really great things. And so currently they're not using our mushrooms, but I'm working on that. Oh, man, where to start there? I was 14, 15 years old. Saw a lot of things going on in the economy that impacted my family. And so, realizing that working a 9-to-5 job and being super loyal to, you know, big employers, really negatively impacted my family. And I think that was a big driving force of me wanting to find that entrepreneurship path. And so when I was like 14, 15 years old, I found out that when I mowed my folks' lawn, that the neighbor wanted me to mow their lawn for 20 bucks. I was like, oh, well, that's pretty cool. I'm just gonna use my dad's lawnmower, my dad's fuel, and mow this guy's lawn, and I get 20 bucks. And so that whole process started to show me that level of entrepreneurship, right? And as years went on, actually even later that year, I started a DJ business when I was like 15 years old. Because like what cooler business for a 15-year-old than a DJ? And it actually panned out pretty well at first. And I think it was a lot because I was 15 and people wanted to encourage that. So I actually ended up DJing my own homecoming, my own prom, school dances, all that sort of stuff. And then realizing that like I could actually do something and then get paid for that. And at that time, a lot of money for a 15-year-old. And so I think one thing kind of led to another, starting businesses over the years. And like I said, failure and learning. I ended up going into the military. So I went to the Air Force. And there I did a wide variety of different work, from logistics and planning, war games, air shows. Ended up being the executive assistant to one of the directors that did that. And then we also did all the MWR. So we had like Pitbull concert on base one time at WWE, or I forget which one it was, one of the wrestling ones. So, and then I also worked in the DoD Port Mortuary, bringing home our fallen heroes and working with the families within the first few hours and then finding out that they had lost their loved ones. And so I have this weird relationship with death. And so, I went through a ton of counseling, trying to cope with everything that happened on my deployment and work through PTSD. And I decided the best way for that is to work with literally death, which is mushrooms, the true life and death force of the forest. And I didn't really plan it that way. It wasn't until I was like actively growing mushrooms that it hit me one day. And I actually found that it was pretty therapeutic to start becoming a lot more connected with the life cycle and the life and death process that mushrooms go through actually pretty rapidly. And so I was found that obviously with a lot of counseling and support from family, growing mushrooms has been therapeutic too.
Cool. Thank you for your service.
Thank you for your support.
Thanks for sharing.
Yeah, absolutely. I held it together. So, cool. Well, thank you for the opportunity to speak. I really appreciate it. I'll be here to answer any other questions. My other big ask for today, because I haven't asked for enough. If everyone in here could open up their favorite app that they use, whether that be Google Maps, Apple, Facebook, whatever, and go hit 5 stars for Black Forest mushrooms. If you just search us, I'd really appreciate it. We're trying to get our reviews up. That helps with all sorts of stuff. So if you wouldn't mind before walking out of here, walk into your car, just hit 5 stars and I would greatly appreciate it. Thanks again for the opportunity. Well,
Appreciate it.
much. appreciated.
Much. All right. Anybody have anything in closing? Then-
Thank you, Kendra. She got him in before February, before much love.
So.
All right. Meeting adjourned.
That was every time I hear you.
Yeah, that's different.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you? Sure.
Yeah.
It's good.
I really appreciate that. Yeah.
I don't know what.
Hey, what you doing with?
I should.
This guy's been telling me.
They are, yeah. Actually, funny story, when I first started selling the Snohomish Farmers Market, and I had a gal come up on one of the first farmers markets ever. One man show, I barely opened it up, even in 2 hours. And this gal comes up and she's like, and I'm like, how can you be obsessed? She's like,
That's probably it, could be it.
I think you would do it. No, no, I mean, and I was like, oh, you want like mushrooms?
Yeah.
And she's like, there's no reason that you need to have plastic mushrooms. And I was like, plastic mushrooms, and yeah, she's like, she thought that I was like, plastic mushrooms, and she was upset about the waste that we were creating. She thought we were crafting a lot of water. So people get weird about that sort of stuff.
You don't want to try it.
Oh, yeah, yeah. This